नमस्ते स्वामी जी।
नमस्ते। ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्ति भेद विभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमध्ये महाभारतम्
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवत् गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः
वेदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः
ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यत् योगिनः
ध्यानावस्थिततत्तेन मनसा पश्यन्ति योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुस्तुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः
देवाय तस्मै नमः.
Sixtieth verse. यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. We are seeing the traits of Sthita Prajna and simultaneously the sadhana of rest one who are not Sthita Prajna. So there is a one line in Sanskritam, Sthita Pragnasya Lakshanani Sadhakasya Sadhanani are traits of Sthita Prajna. It becomes a sadhana for a person like us. So we would like to follow Sthita Prajna. So what it is very natural to them, this is for sadhana for us. So after, I think, 57th, all verses are nothing for what to do to become a Sthita Prajna. That sadhana are prescribed by Bhagavan Krishna in these verses. And which type of sadhana? So we have seen once, but still I would like to explain. There is 3 sadhana Bhagavan has described for each and every Jignasu or Mumukshu. One is Nididhyasanam. What we have seen, Nididhyasanam is nothing but what we are a habitual, our sanskara, our impression that we have to remove. Indriya Nigraha. Second sadhana are prescribed by Bhagavan. Indriya Nigraha. In Vedanta language, we can tell them is Damaha. Damaha. And third one is Mano Nigraha, means Shamaha. Then Shamaha, Damaha and Nididhyasanam are prescribed by Bhagavan in these verses. And we have seen in Damaha means to control, to keep under control our sense organs. Mano Nigraha means Shamaha, to keep our mind in our control. And Nididhyasanam is one type of meditation. In such meditation, we have to remove our past impression regarding our body-mind sense complex. So we are not body, we are not mind. The thoughts we are going in our mind, we are not. Such type of thinking is called Nididhyasanam that Bhagavan has discussed here, and we have seen this. But suppose we say is 3 verses, 58, 59 and 60th, all are for Damaha. We have seen Damaha means to keep our sense organ in our control. This 61st verse, Mat Paraha Asit, is a sadhana of Nididhyasanam. Asit means to sit, but how to sit? So with Mat Paraha, totally committed to Ishvara, and we have to think of this. So this portion is Nididhyasanam. And lastly, we have seen that portion is called, really speaking, Shamaha, to keep our mind under control. So Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate, that we have seen last week, not last week, the week before that. So Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Branshad Buddhinashaha Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, we have seen a person who is dwelling upon sense object, a mind dwelling upon sense object. Vishayan means sense object. Dhyayataha, person. Pumsaha means who are meditating upon sense object. Then keep on dwelling on that sense object. Sangaha teshu upajayatu. Teshu vishayeshu sangaha upajayate. We developed attachment towards that sense object. Sangasteshu upajayate. Because of that attachment, kamaha sanjayate. Because of that attachment, kamaha means a strong longing, strong desire to get that sense object that is born because of this attachment. And when that longing to grab or to take that object is fulfilled, then lobha will come. But if our desire is not fulfilled, then krodha abhijayate. Anger will be born, is born, anger is born. Up to here, we can keep still our mind under check, and if we can make understand our mind that this is not good. But after this, krodhat bhavati sammoha. The meaning of sammoha is out of anger, delusion will come. It becomes a delusion, and the delusion we have seen. Our clouds of attachment, our clouds of anger that cover our intellect. And because our intellect is covered, then we cannot take proper decision. It's called sammoha. It says, out of sammoha, sometimes we forget our mother as a mother. Because of anger, we can forget our teacher, guru, acharya. Out of anger, we can forget, and we start behave different type. It's called sammoha. Sammoha, krodhat sammoha bhavati. And because of this delusion, smriti vibhramaha bhavati. The meaning of smriti means memory. Vibhramaha means they totally forget. It says, out of anger, when delusion is there, whole teaching of Gita, what we have learned even in Upanishad, in Gita, even in our normal course of our reading, that we will forget at the time when too much anger, too much delusion is there. So it is sammohat smriti vibhramaha. And when we cannot remember what we have learned, it's called buddhinashaha. So as good as our intellect stops working, is not totally destruction, but stops working. And when our buddhi cannot take proper decision, it says pranashyati, as though we are living, but our life is like animal. We are just living. There is no meaning of life. It's called buddhinashat pranashyati. Everything is possible when we are dwelling much on sense object. Our mind is dwelling. So this whole portion is dedicated to Shamaha. So up to here, even some moha level also, we can say mind to turn back, need not to go. Utti smriti vibrama buddhi nashaha. Still, we can keep our mind turn back. But after this level, totally is destruction of our mind. The meaning of destruction means free will is given to us, but we are not using that free will as a free will. Our free will is caught, is robbed by our own emotions. It's called pranashyati. We have seen all this. So just we have seen the meaning. Dhyato vishayan punsaha. But one thing I have told, and it is good to remember, person has to remember 3A. We have discussed in last session. Okay, we have to remember 3A. One meaning of A means alert. We have to be careful. Each and every situation is called alert. The meaning of another A is called awake. Awake means we should have proper discrimination, viveka. What is good, what is bad, what is nitya, what is anitya. All thinking is called awake. And we should be aware, means what is going in our mind, we should be aware. If some anger is passing, we should aware. Right now, we need not to talk with any person because my mind is full of anger. It's called we are aware of our own emotions. If 3 we keep in our mind, then more or less this all emotion we can keep under watch. This is called 3A. We have seen. Desire, that what we have seen. Last time we have seen one thing. If anger is there, then what will happen? This is a nice one. I don't know who has given, but in my thinking, when I went to Dubai, one girl has one given me. So this is written anger. Means krodha. If krodha is there, then which type of emotion can come in our mind is written here. Anger. Because of anger, we can become critical. Because of anger, we keep distant to our whatever relative. Because of anger, we are become frustrated. Because of anger, we can become aggressive. Because of anger, we can be a mad. In English expression, are you mad? This because of anger. Because of anger, we can become hateful. Because of anger, we can be threatened to another person, and because of anger, we feel inside hurt. Somebody hurt me. And again, this all give another type of emotion. So all emotions, when we really observe, they all are negative. So it's written, it's good. This critical make us skeptical. This critical make us sarcastic. The distant, we keep people with distant, make us suspicious. Distant keep us withdrawn. We stop talking, withdrawn. Frustration give 2 type of emotion. One, irritating. We in small we become irritated. Then infuriated. This frustration give us infuriated. Aggressive our personality make us hostile. Aggressive personality provoked something. Mad make us enraged. Mad make us furious. Same way, a threaten make us jealous. Same way, when we give threat to another, we feel inside insecure. And last, hurt make us devastated. And heart also gives embarrassed. Some people, all because of anger. So I can say this all are, anger is like a father, all are our first generation, this type of emotion. And second, outer circle is there are grandson, all our grandson, granddaughters. So we have to keep our anger under control. And after this, if somebody asks, we should not go in any time we cannot interact with sense object, we should not go in the mall, we cannot do anything in the world. That's why Bhagavan has says, if your mind is such, you can go anywhere. So it's 64th verse. Ragadvesha viyuktestu vishayanindriyeshcharan atmavashyir vidheyatma prasadamadigatchati. Then Bhagavan says, our indriya means our sense organs should be ragadvesha viyuktehi, and our indriyehi should be atmavashehi. This both raga dvesha viyuktehi also adjective of indriya, and same way atma vashyehi also adjective of indriya. So this indriya is 3 by 3, so all these two nouns also in 3 by 3. So how should our indriya, if indriya are under control, then vishayan charan, we can move about in mall, we can move about whole world, and whenever we would like to go, we can go, but our indriya should like this, raga dvesha viyuktehi and atma vashehi. And one who keep our sense organ and mind under control, that person is called vidhayatma. Videya, here again the meaning of Atma is not Satchidanand Atma, but here the meaning of Atma is mind. A mind, but one who is under control is called Videya. A such person, one whose mind is under control, that person prasadam adhigacchati. Adhigacchati means to attain. He attains prasadam. The meaning of prasadam is tranquility. The meaning of prasadam is peacefulness. The meaning of prasadam is cheerfulness. So Bhagavan says there is no need to run away from the society. You can live in the society, but one has to prepare mind like raga dvesha viyuktehi and atma vashehi. Now let us see what is. Bhagavan has used one word, tu. Tu means whereas. In last two verses, Bhagavan has expressed the person who lost his anger. Such person, pranashyati, in contrary, a such person, whereas one who is vidayatma. The vidayatma is a person, one's mind is under control. So self-control, discipline, integrated person, whatever the meaning is, all mind is under control. So we can say, is shamayuktaha. Shamaha means controlled mind. Yuktaha is endowed with controlled mind. It doesn't mean he just suppresses one's mind, but the control means he always check over the mind and he gives proper guideline to our mind. It's called Vidayatma. Vidayatma is not suppression, but Vidayatma is to give proper channel to our thought process. We can understand our thought process and then we give, channelize them. It's called Vidayatma. Such Vidayatma, what he or she does, he says, Indriyehi. Indriyehi means sense organ, but which type of sense organ? Then he says, Ragadvesha viyuktehi indriyehi. A Vidayatma, one whose mind under control, that person's sense organs are Ragadvesha viyuktaha. He is bereft of likes and dislikes. And another, that his sense organ is Atma Vashyehi. So what is Raga and what is Dvesha? So today when I was thinking what is Raga and Dvesha, the meaning is simple. The Raga is attachment and Dvesha is hatred. But what are the son, or we can say progeny of Raga Dvesha? Like we have seen that all are sons and grandsons. Same way, what are the progeny of Raga Dvesha? So what is given in our Shastra, 6 type of thing. If in our mind is called, it is a grandsons of Raga or Dvesha also. And what are they? 1 minute, make it big. It says, one is, it's given in our Shastra, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Madaha, Mohaha, Matsaraha. These 6 negativities always we have in our mind. So what is the meaning that we have seen? Kamaha. In previous verses, the meaning of Kama is longing. A deep desire, deep longing are called Kamaha. And I have written, it is a product of Raga. It is a son of our like. If we like, then I need. Without this, I cannot live. Such our thinking is called Kamaha. Then another is Krodhaha. Krodhaha is anger, and it's unfulfilled Kamaha. If our desire is not fulfilled, then whatever expression in our mind is called anger, Krodha. So Krodha, always it is unfulfilled. So I can say is a grandson of Raga. So Ragaha gives Kamaha, Kamaha gives Krodha. If whatever our desire is fulfilled, then matter doesn't over there. Then we developed Lobha, means greed. I would like to keep, nobody should take from me. This possessiveness, greed. So it's called fulfilled karma gives greed. Then madaha means arrogance. We have this another negativity is arrogance. And how come it comes? It says more fulfilled karma. If our desire are fulfilled one by one, each and every desire are fulfilled, and if we are not ready, then they say, no, this is, I am successful. This thinking is called arrogance. They always start to sharing everywhere. Nobody, I was single, nobody helps me, but still I am successful. This feeling is called arrogance. Another negativity, this all are moha, means delusion. The meaning delusion is our intellect is covered by ragadvesha. Overpowered by ragadvesha is called moha. And last one is called matsaraha. In English it's called jealousy. And this jealousy is because of our likes and dislikes. Somebody has more something, then we develop jealous thoughts. So this raga dvesha also give the tendency of jealousy. It's called raga dvesha yuktehi. But Bhagavan says person should raga dvesha viyuktaha. Viyuktaha means without or bereft. Now how can person can be without this raga dvesha on this whole progeny or sons and grandsons? So it says, like in medicine field, no, we always give antidote. If a snake bites, we give antidote, anti-snake venom. Same way, this I have written, all are the antidotes of kama, krodha, lobha. Suppose we have longing, desire. So what is the antidote of kamaha? So it is dissipation. Okay, vairagya. And vairagya doesn't mean to running out of the society, but the meaning of vairagya means we should know the value of the thing, relationship. Being, if we have vairagya, then we should know each and everything in this world is not permanent. If it's not permanent, I should not go much important to such thing. If we develop such emotion in our mind, it's called dissipation. Like Pujya Swamiji used to say, in our childhood, even these girls may have some games to play, but it is given to us, now you start playing. So what's our mind starts thinking? It's called dissipation. So the antidote of kamaha is vairagyam, dissipation. Antidote of anger, krodha, is compassion, karuna. More we are compassionate, more we don't have, we have less anger. Lobha, if we are greedy, then what is the antidote? It's called Danam. Pujya Swamiji used to chant one Samaveda, if anybody knows. Lobhena, Danena, Lobhatara. Danena, Lobhatara, even anger, Krodha, Karunyena, Krodhatara. Tor means you cross, antidote. If we have arrogance, then what is the antidote? So modesty. There are, in whole world, there are many people who are more successful than us. More we think, more we become more and more modest. So modesty is the antidote of madaha. If delusion, if we think we are overpowered by delusion, then nothing, but only we need a proper prayer. It says, Gayatri mantra, dhiyo yonaf prachodayat. Naha dhiyaha prachodayat. Really speaking, if we start that prayer from childhood, then we never have delusion. Because in that Gayatri mantra, we always pray to Sun Lord. So please give me proper direction to my dhiya, my buddhi, my intellect. So proper prayer is the antidote of moha and jealousy. So what is the antidote of jealousy is love. More and more we are lovable, then less jealousy. So all when we developed in our mind, then we can call raga dvesha vayukte. We don't have any type of likes and dislikes. And even it says, if we live a life of karma yoga, if we are given to life of karma yoga, then this will come without unknowingly. So it's called raga dvesha vayukte. Our mind, our sense organ should be without any likes and dislikes, or I can say attach and hatred. So one adjective is used. Second is atmavashyehi. One, what is the meaning of atmavashyehi? The meaning of atmavashyehi is our mind, our sense organs should obey our intellect. One has to power to say no. Sometimes they are so much overpowered emotion, so we can't say. Our sense organ keep on demanding, keep on showing. When we enter in the mall, there are many things to purchase, They all say, please buy me, but we should have power to say no. This year, this month, we have enough this. If we have power, it's called Atmavashi. Atma means our mind. Vashya means in our control. So sense organ should obey our buddhi. And when we say no, it's always buddhi. So our buddhi, our mind should be in our control. Such person, when they move in the field of sense object, so it says Vishayancharan, such Vidayatma, one whose mind is under control, and that person's sense organs are Raga Dvesha Viyuktehi, they are bereft of attachment and hatred, and plus their buddhi is under control. Such person, Vishayancharan, that person moves in the field of sense object. Then Vishayancharan, such also prasadam adhigacchati. That person gets attained cheerfulness, tranquility, happiness, cheerfulness, particularly even peacefulness in our mind. So what is the criteria to make our mind cheerful? That Bhagavan says our mind should be raga dvesha viyuktam. Our mind should be bereft of all type of attachment and hatred. If our mind is happy, from same circle I have separated, if our mind is happy, then what will happen? That I have just corner out. It is also nice to see that we have seen if our mind has anger, then what will happen? Now if our mind is happy, then also is given, his mind is happy, then we are joyful. If our mind is happy, then we have developed interest. If our mind is happy, then we always proud. This is not arrogance, we have proud. If our mind is happy, then we start accept the person. If our mind is happy, we think we are the master, we are powerful. If our mind is happy, so what is still peaceful, prasadam. If our mind is happy, then only we can take new initiative. And if our mind is happy, then we always optimistic. And again, it is written, if we are joyful, then what will happen? So it's we feel we are liberated. If we are joyful, it's like a aesthetic. If we are interested, then we always inquisitive. We keep on asking question different. If we are interested, then we always amused. If we have proud, then we think is something is important. If we have proud, then we have confident. If we have acceptance, then we always respect. We respect others and we are respected by others. If we accept others, we think we are fulfilled. If powerful, then we become courageous. If we are powerful, then we become provocative. If we are peaceful, then we are loving. If we are peaceful, then we have different type of hope. We never lost the hope. If we are initiative because of happiness, if we are initiative, then we are very sensitive for others. We are playful, always cheerful with others. If we optimistic, then we keep our mind open and we are inspired by others. This is all our positive emotions if our mind is cheerful. That's why Bhagavan says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate. In second verse, when the prasadam means this happiness, the meaning of prasadam means cheerfulness, the meaning of prasadam is peacefulness. Without peace of mind, without our mind is not peaceful, then we never get self-knowledge. Because always self-knowledge rested in peaceful mind. If our mind is agitated, how can you go inside? That's why now in second verse, Bhagavan says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhih paryavatishthate. Prasade, when our mind is cheerful. Sarva dukkhanam hanihi, destruction of all pain. Sarva means all, dukkhanam means pain. When our mind is cheerful, then destruction of all pain, upajayate, means is born, it possible. Here one asya means that person, one who keeps mind and senses under control. And because of that, he has prasadam. And again, somebody asks, okay, if our mind is cheerful, then how can the destruction of all pain can be possible? That's why Bhagavan says, prasanna chetasaha, whose mind is always cheerful, in such mind, buddhihi paryavatishthate. The here meaning of buddhi is not intellect, but self-knowledge. So in such person, buddhihi means self-knowledge, paryavatishthate means it will remain well established. Another person, buddhi, not aparyavatishthate, he won't stay. I used to say, people knows everything. I am taking here classes, they know everything. Ishwar is everywhere. All that, sentences they know. But when Vyavahara comes, when we have to interact with people, then this Atmagnanam doesn't stay. Why? Because Atmagnanam is only up to intellect level, that self-knowledge doesn't soak in our mind. And if that mind is not soaked by self-knowledge, then all demands of mind is always remain as it is. And keep on demanding, and this gnanam will remain at intellect side, and this demanding of mind will remain at mind level. That's why the Atma Gnanam doesn't stay. But when our mind is quiet, our mind is peaceful, our mind is tranquil, then only this Gnanam remains steady. That's what Bhagavan has said. Let's see what is the Anvaya. So is written, I have Prasade Sati. This is the Sati Saptami. Prasade Sati. When our mind is peaceful, then Asya Purushasya, a person who is Vidayatma, one who is trying to become Raga Dvesham Yuktaha, for that person, Sarva Dukkhanam Hanihi Upajayate. The destruction of all pain is born. Upajayate is born. Why? It says because Prasanna Chetasa, one whose mind is always cheerful, for such person, Atmagnanam, Ashu means immediately. We have said swift, quickly, very soon, Paryavatishthate, it well established in our mind. So let's see what is the prasada. In our India, always prasadam. The prasadam is out of temple, whatever comes is called prasadam. But here, the meaning of prasadam is not that laddu prasadam, but here the prasadam is peacefulness of our mind. So that it says prasade sati, when our mind is tranquil and peaceful. And why our mind is peaceful, that's why I have again mentioned previous verse. Because that sense organs are without hatred and attachment, raga dvesha, that mind is under control, that word mind is prasadam, is cheerful. For such person whose mind is cheerful, what will happen? So Bhagavan says, Dukkhanam, asya purushasya, a person whose sense organ and mind is under control, sarva dukkhanam. So I have written all pain, but which type of pain? So always we say shantihi, shantihi, shanti. 3 times shantihi. Each and every shanti mantra after we repeat, even purnamada purnamidam shanti. The meaning of one shanti means pain is called adhyatmikam dukkham. The pain with reference to our gross body and subtle body. It's called adhyatmikam, pain. Adhibhautikam means except our body mind, surrounding whatever is there, that can give us pain. It's called adhibhautikam. So our relative, in language of Pujya Swamiji, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, all can give pain, all fighting. It's called Bhautikam, and Devikam means natural calamities like cyclone, like tsunami, all can give dukkha. They're all dukkha, hanihi, destruction of all pain. So how can, if we get knowledge and it becomes all destruction of pain will take place, is like one by one we are just revolving each and every pain, not like that. But when we know who we are. So when we have Atma Gnanam, then what will happen? Suppose Adhyatmik pain means with regard to our body mind, particularly our body. Your body may sick, our body has so many problems, but for Atmagnani, what Atmagnani thinks, Prarabdham tu iha bhujyatam. It is this shloka is from Sadhan Panchakam. Atmagnani always say, whatever given in my prarabdham, that karma, that I have to experience. So he never has complained. So when we say the destruction is really meaning of destruction is no more complaint without all pains. And why person doesn't have complaint? Because that person who has self-knowledge, it knows this adhyatmic pain, our body pain, that I have to go experience. We have seen many Mahatmas, starting from Pujya Swamiji, Ramakrishna Paramhans, Ramana Maharshi, all has different type of problem. They always say, I am experiencing my own prarabdha. So they don't have any complaint. Adi Bhautikam. So our surrounding, people and situation always hurting us. We think they are giving us pain, but at that time, a person who has self-knowledge, he or she thinks, I cannot change anyone. I cannot change the person. At the same time, I cannot change the situation, given situation. So if I cannot change, I am accepting. Acceptance with all respect. So at Adi Bhautik level, also no complaint. And Adi Devikam is not in our control. Everything is a natural law. So whatever tsunami comes, whatever comes, is in according to law, nature. So if nature is giving, how can we complain? So when we say sarva dukkhanam hanihi upajayate, means that person doesn't have complaint at any level, starting from body up to antariksha, up to satellite, whatever, antariksha. No complaint. It's called hanihi upajayate. Even one thing I would like to say, when rose is there, rose has thorn. Thorn pricks us if we handle not properly, then we never have anger on the thorn, because we have accepted rose with thorn. We have no problem. We have accepted all cactus with thorn. Same way, we are ready to accept each and every people's behavior, attitude with thorns. Pricky attitude, if we can ready to accept, it's called hanihi upajayate. No complaint regarding. It says, Tukaram's, have you heard the name of Tukaram? He's a great devotee of Krishna in Maharashtra, our state, Maharashtra state. But Tukaram's wife was not good. He's always angry with Tukaram. So one day, Tukaram has got one sugar cane. Somebody has given as a gift to Tukaram, and he went along with sugar cane to his home. And that lady, Tukaram's wife, she became angry, and with that sugar cane, she beats Tukaram with that sugar cane, and sugar cane divided into two. Then Tukaram says, "You are very kind, you are very generous, because sugar cane was one and we were two. So how can we eat? So by beating, you have divided into two." But no complaint. It's called Hani Upajayate. Really speaking, there is a no distraction, really speaking, but in our mind, there is a no complaint. Whatever given to us, I am accepted gracefully. It's called Hanihi Upajayate. And if our mind is peaceful, such, then what will happen? So Bhagavan says, Yasmat, because Prasanna Chetasaha, one whose mind is cheerful, for such person, Buddhihi means self-knowledge. Atma Jnanam, Ashu. Today we have seen our Sanskritam class. Ashu has come. Asuhu, Ashu Paryavatishtate. It will be well established. Even each and every people who loves Vedanta, they would like to keep this self-knowledge in his or her mind, but still they cannot able to keep, because mind is always demanding. And why mind is demanding? So according to Pujya Swamiji, our unconscious always keep on demanding. So when our mind has no problem, a mind doesn't have unconscious problem, then only mind is settled. And when mind is settled, he always peaceful. And when peaceful, with peaceful mind, if we listen any scriptures, then all Upadesha immediately goes in our mind, and it will be soaked in our mind. Always says, what we have eaten is not a matter, but what is digested, it's matter. Because digested food only nourished our body. Same way, what we have soaked in whatever in Atma Gnanam, that soaked self-knowledge will help in day-to-day life. Otherwise, in Buddhi level, everything is there, but Buddhi is overpowered by our mind. And mind never allowed Atma Gnanam, whatever we have Jnanam, to work it out. So when our buddhi and mind becomes one, mind and intellect become one, what mind says, that intellect does, and what intellect says, mind does, both are one and same. At that time only, our mind will be peaceful. And that peaceful mind, everything, always assimilated food is nourished us. Even here, there are many cows, many animals, they eat everything very quickly. But when they sit, again whatever eaten food, again comes out in their mouth and they start chewing. Same way, if we can chew our Vedanta knowledge, then only it will be helpful. So if it is helpful, then only this hanihi upajayati, this all pain will go. So I always would like to say, if it not go permanently, it's all right. But we can send them, we can move them, we can pull them out because of our understanding of karma yoga also. Whatever comes, pain, is only prasadi. Prasadi means is given by Lord. If it's given by Lord, no complaint. If we even prepare mind in such level, then also one level our mind is peaceful. But motto of our Krishna Bhagavan is, our mind should be peaceful while gaining the knowledge. Otherwise, it is useless. there is a two words are using by scholar of Vedanta. It's called Shruta Brahma. Shruta. Shruta means heard, listen. Brahman means Brahman. So when they are talking each other, they would like to mention some person. They say, "Oh, he's a Shruta Brahma." We think there's some given to us, prize is given to us. But Shruta Brahma means they have keep on listening, but they never put in their life. It's called Shruta Brahma. So it is not good word, according to they keep on listening from one ear to another ear. It goes, but nothing goes inside. Shruta Brahma. So we should not be Shruta Brahma. It should be go inside. And to go inside, only mind is necessary. Prasannaha mind. So Prasanna mind can be possible only through Karma Yoga. Nothing another will help. More we will see tomorrow. Any question? So can I keep you unmute? Somebody's waiting. Yes. Sajini. Yeah.
So really, if we want not to be Matsaraga, we have to be Matparaga.
Huh? Matpara.
Right, Swamiji? If we don't want to be Matsaraga, we have to become Matparaga.
Matsara means jealous. Matparaha means
That
to be committed to Ishvara.
Yeah.
Any?
Swaminiji, can everyone chant Gayatri Mantra?
Yeah. No problem.
Because in our families, I'm sorry.
Women can also chant. No problem.
Yeah, in our families, my elders say we should not chant Rudram Chamakam, even Gayatri Mantra, or those kind of mantras.
Same question from me. Initiated us with only Gayatri Mantra during Brahmacharya Diksha. And they have asked us to complete in some huge number, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh. So we have chanted. But in olden days, they say women cannot be take sannyasa. Only Pujya Swami just.
Why is it so, Swaminiji? Why?
We don't know why. Because according to Brahman, is no gender, no?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Pujya Swami just started to give sannyasa, and he was boycotted by all sannyasis in Rishikesh. But he was very firm.
Wow.
So after some years, they have accepted Pujya Swami.
Oh.
So Manisha Amma was there. He is given first to Manisha Amma.
Pujya Swamiji is a rebel.
Yeah, one type of rebel.
Vedanta.
Yeah, really.
He's a very kind and compassionate rebel.
But sometime you need to be firm, no? Whatever correct, we have to say this is correct. We should not follow like sheep.
Yeah, he was. He gave mantra diksha to our daughter. That time he was saying how the threading ceremony for the boys is a rebirth. For girls also, we should give mantra diksha. That is like a birth.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying that time.
Here in Porbandar, there is a one big premises. They say it's Arya Kanya Gurukulam. All girls, they are studied there. But they give Upanayana to all girls. There is a thread ceremony when they are taking Arya Kanya.
Oh, the real Upanayanam we do for boys, the same thing they do for girls?
Yeah. Is they say they were proven in Veda first person it is given.
Oh.
They have all papers with them. So it's given.
Wow.
They in Shukla Yajurveda is given. So they have kept paper.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
sometimes have felt that only boys and men more discipline ingrained into them. Girls are a lot more naturally disciplined.
Yeah, natural discipline.
Swaminiji,
Yes.
in medicine, when we do a physical examination, the first thing we have to write is the child alert and awake. Alert and awake. And then we continue to document the physical exam and do the physical exam. How, so that I can see if a child is alert and awake. How to identify if adults and other people are aware.
1 minute. Can I keep everything mute? 1 minute. Huh? Yes, now?
Okay, I'll ask the question again.
Hmm.
In medicine, when we perform physical examination, we have to identify if the child is alert and awake. That's the first part of an exam.
Alert.
How
First portion is alert. Okay.
alert and awake.
Yeah.
How can I identify for myself and for children if they're aware? What do we mean?
Aware means is not for children, but this awareness, what I'm talking about, for ourselves. We should aware what is going in our mind. Poor children cannot aware. They can cry only. If they have problem, they can cry. Of their awareness, they have to prove their awareness. They have no another way to show their awareness. They can cry only. But in this our inner growth process, we should aware what is going in our mind. That I would like to. This alert, aware and awake, this I am regarding for inner growth. If we are very serious, our growth is properly going or not, our emotions growth. For that emotion growth, this 3A is necessary. Alert, I think, in medicine is each and every limbs working properly or not. I think that is for alert will be. I am not that much sure, but I think alert, that word may be using for that. Is it true? I don't know. Huh?
We mean that they're responsive.
Yeah.
Their senses are working. Their hearing, their vision, their smell, their taste, touch, they're responsive, alert. Awake means that they're not fatigued, they're not sleepy, they're not lethargic.
But aware.
In behavioral,
yeah, but aware, if start crying, if they have some stomach pain, if they have some fever, so how they can express? We can say I have fever. We can say I have body ache, I have headache, but how they can explain? Even they are aware, they don't have language. That's why awareness, I can tell, this is only my thinking, but they start crying. So we know they are aware of their whatever is there. We can think like that. Otherwise, how can, if they are hungry, no? What they have to do, poor fellow? They start crying, the mother understand now she or he must be hungry. So their cry is a sign of their awareness.
Of course, they'll be honest 100%, not like adults.
Yeah. I think so. You can put, if some is there, correct. If the 100% alert, then whatever going in their body, they must be aware. If sense organs are not properly working, then they cannot be aware. Otherwise, they can be aware.
Yes, a lot of times the parents give the history and the child interrupts and says, no, mommy, that's not the case. This is what's going on.
This is, they are
Especially
aware.
when they're aware.
But what Bhagavan and Swaminiji, you are talking about awareness is very deeper. Like, that's like,
Yeah.
constantly being aware of why we are thinking in a way or not.
Yeah.
That's a deeper awareness.
But this awareness also she can put in this history. No, there must be one sheet is there. We have to fulfill each and every. You can put awareness.
So,
Yes.
Swamiji, it's like sakshi, being a sakshi, right? Being a witness to your thoughts.
Yeah, being witness. Your same way. Child can be witness of their own disease, something, whatever problem he or she is passing.
Yeah. It's very interesting, Swamiji. There is I'll keep it very brief. There is a Tamil song from Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi that says, Atma Viddai Metta Kadinam, Aye Metta Sulabham, meaning it says Atma Vidya is very difficult, but at the same time, Atma Vidya is very easy, very simple to achieve. I think that can be only accomplished by being Matparaga. Like put everything under the feet of the Lord, then you automatically don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say the phrase I think is it is simple but not easy.
It is simple, yeah.
But it can become easy if you change your perspective.
Simplest is only to know who am I, but it seems difficult to each and every person.
Right. Simply you just surrender, but it is so difficult to surrender.
Yeah, for that we should have awareness, like being honest what we are going through in mind, and accept it and correct it. That's the only way.
In the Zen teaching, they say that when you are resisting something, suppose you are faced with a painful situation or a situation that gives you suffering, our natural tendency is to run away from that situation using many different ways. Everybody has their own way of running away from suffering.
Yeah.
But Zen masters would say, don't run away, just sit with it and observe it.
Yeah, we become more defensive.
Yeah. Even, when we were living in Anaikatti for 3.5 year course, so we have to share bathroom. When initial days, one bathroom, two students. So after 1 month, they start complaining, students each other, I'm not comfortable, I need to change. So another place the person goes, again after 1 month, again complain. Then Swamiji says, you need not to change, but you keep there only, you have to change, not place.
That's why we are there for 3.5 years, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you cannot deal with your roommates and your family, then where is Atmanyanam? Yeah.
True.
Swaminiji, children seem to have a good amount of awareness, not in the depth that you are speaking of, just Swamiji speaks of. If we can identify it, then we can nurture it early on. In an industrialized country, parents have a hard time identifying their children. And in the visit, we see it. We see that children have a lot of awareness. I think the way you're speaking of, they know there's something going on with them. And some are very good at explaining how to nurture it in a child.
Nurture, I think mother or even doctor can make them to nurture them. We can say something, there are many play available for children. It makes them more and more aware what they are doing. Small play means how to make some building. Same way, there are many, I think, games, not video games, but creative games. Same way we can develop some games like that. So while doing such game, they become more and more aware what they are doing. Video games makes kids, more dull. But there are many creative. When we were small, they are just giving us mud Out of mud, we have to prepare some doll, some Ganesha. It's a creative work. Nowadays, they are giving a artificial mud. Then we have to do something, some creative work. More they are doing creative, more they are aware. More they are aware, then more their awareness is nurtured. Something like.
That's interesting, Swaminiji, because the more time children spend with nature and open atmosphere versus just cooped up inside a home with some artificial things.
Yeah, they are more creative.
I think it's a big difference, but I don't know. These days that is what kids generally do.
Even I have found here we are living here in everywhere is field is there. Farmers are there. They are not that much educated. But they never need any person to anything. They can clear their problem they solve. No mason, no electrician, no plumber. They himself a plumber, everything. They said no need to call any electrician. I will take care. They take care. So it's so creative, But being always doing this video games, nothing to do, no? Make dull. But nowadays, we can't say children don't play with video games.
Thank you, Swaminiji.
Okay, shall we do Purnavada?
Yeah.
Om
Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
No question.